Hey guys, it's me again and I'm back with a new video. Apologies that it's been a couple days since I last made a video and last uploaded anything on my Facebook and Instagram. It's just that I've been really busy with college and Friday nights, but I'm back at it again with more news on my phone. So yeah. COVID. Central Scotland pubs in response to start as new restrictions confirmed by Nicola Sturgeon, the First Minister of Scotland. Pubs in central Scotland will be closed as part of stricter COVID-19 lockdown restrictions announced by First Minister Nicola Sturgeon. The hospitality industry will be hardest hit by the latest measures aimed at stopping the spread of coronavirus, with pubs and licensed cafes in 5 Scottish areas told must shut all but takeaway customers for more than 2 weeks from 6 p.m. on Friday, so in 2 days' time at the time of filming this video. So this coming Friday, so this Friday. Pubs and restaurants will not be allowed to serve alcohol indoors for 16 days from 6 p.m. on Friday. Establishments will, however, be allowed to serve food and drink and non-alcoholic drinks inside from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. The place will go indoor and outdoor operations. Restaurants within hotels will be able to serve people after these hours but without alcohol. Pubs and restaurants will still be able to serve people outside, subject to the rules which are currently in place. People in the 5 areas with tighter restrictions have been told to avoid public transport whenever possible. In the central belt, snooker and pool halls, bowling alleys, casinos and bingo halls will have to stop for a fortnight. Outdoor live events, will be banned in the 5 areas for the next 2 weeks. Scotland has also been asked to avoid public transport unless absolutely necessary in the next 2 weeks. So, yeah. Not good. Proposed closures of all hospitality venues, pubs and restaurants for a period. Restrictions are most likely to be announced on Monday, but it could come earlier. Pubs and restaurants barred from selling alcohol indoors for 16 days in Scotland. Pubs, restaurants, cafes in Scotland are being barred from selling alcohol indoors for 16 days on Friday. They can continue selling food and non-alcoholic drinks indoors until 6 p.m. and are able to sell alcohol outside up until the 10 p.m. curfew. Forced to close both indoor and outdoor services, though they can continue doing takeaways. Restrictions will affect Greater Glasgow and Clyde, Lancashire, Ayrshire and Arran, Rotherham, Forth Valley from 6 p.m. on Friday. Residents in those areas will also be encouraged not to take travel outside them if they don't need to, though the First Minister insisted he was not ordering a second lockdown. In snooker, the measures will stay in place until the 25th of October, and snooker, pool and bingo halls as well as casinos in the problem regions will also have to cease trading, with most contact sport also having to stop. Gyms can stay open, exceptions will be made for already booked live events like weddings and funerals. The Scottish Government also confirmed National 5 exams will be cancelled for this academic year, with an alternative approach to be worked out based on exam centre judgments and teachers' judgments. £40 million government support will go towards businesses affected by the first restrictions. She said the measures will last until Sunday the 25th of October and people do not need to cancel half-term plans. Love. Lost plot. The government is considering temporarily closing pubs and restaurants and limiting household mixing further. Amen. Close hospitality venues, pubs and restaurants for a period while looking at whether to further household mixing. New priority. Hold on. Excuse me. Pubs in Scotland will be severely restricted under new measures announced by First Minister Nicola Sturgeon to try and halt the spread of COVID-19. Bars and restaurants in Scotland currently have to close at 10 p.m. Under the new rules from 6 p.m. on Friday the 9th of October, so in 2 days' time from the time of recording this video, this Friday, all licensed premises in the Central Belt must close completely until Sunday the 25th of October. So, yeah, that means they're covered by the health boards for Great Glasgow and Clyde, Lancashire, Lothian, Falfallen, Argyll and Arran. Includes Edinburgh and Glasgow. Outside the Central Belt, pubs, cafes, restaurants will only be able to open indoors between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. and will not be allowed to sell alcohol during those hours. However, they will be able to serve alcohol outdoors between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. Hotel restaurants across the country will also be able to serve meals to residents in the evening, but it will not be allowed to serve alcohol. Scotland, a maximum of 6 people from up to 2 households will still be able to meet up in hospitality venues. Subject to the revised opening hours, there will be exceptions for significant life events, such as wedding receptions and funeral wakes, which will be able to continue in line with the current rules across the whole of the country. Currently all pubs, bars, restaurants, cafes and other hospitality venues in England must close by 10 p.m. Venues that are licensed to serve alcohol are restricted by law to table service only, except for takeaways. In all cases, table bookings of more than 6 are not allowed and groups can't mingle. Key method of keeping people safe and preventing the spread of COVID-19. It means keeping a certain distance away from other people to lessen the risk of passing on or catching coronavirus. Slightly different advice depending on where you are. Scotland, people should keep 2 meters away from each other from Saturday the 10th of October. So, this coming weekend, First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has asked shops to introduce measures to support 2 metre physical distancing, such as one-way systems. There are exceptions in some places like pubs, and children aged 11 or under do not need to social distance. In England, if you can't stay 2 metres away, you can stay 1 metre plus. Now it's like the limit possible exposure, like wearing a face covering. Sorry. In Wales, the guidance is to stay 2 metres apart unless it's not practical, for instance at hairdressers. Primary age children in Wales are also exempt. So, tea. Spilling the tea right now as well as drinking tea. How's that? Northern Ireland's guidance was 1 metre for a time, but now it's back at 2 metres. Social distancing is important because coronavirus is thought to spread mainly when an infected person coughs, sneezes and speaks and transmits small droplets that flies into the air. Finding out people's mouths and noses, they've been held into the lungs. And the risks are far higher indoors than outdoors, because now we're spending more time indoors. Social distancing is a key element of meeting up safely. The only people you do not need to socially distance from are people in your household, anyone in the support bubble if you are. Otherwise, when seeing anybody, you must follow social distancing rules. Avoid physical contact such as a handshake or a hug. Not to be too close or face to face. Not shout or sing too close to them. Okay, notice in some areas have local restrictions in place. Times well, may limit the people you can meet and work. In areas without local restrictions, rules differ. In England, up to 6 people of any age or multiple households can meet indoors and outdoors. In Scotland, people are being told not to visit other households or other private indoor spaces. In public indoor spaces, 6 people from 2 households can meet. The same rule applies in outdoor spaces, including private gardens. Outdoors, children aged 11 or under will be exempt from the head count. Those aged 12 to 18 are exempt from the 2 household limit. allowed to meet together outdoors with groups of 6. Wales, it's now legal for more than 6 people to meet indoors. Only people who do must be from an extended household. From is spelled wrong, by the way. It should be F-O-R-M, not F-O-R-M. Come on, BBC, step it up. Children aged 10 and under do not count towards total. Up to 30 people from different homes can still meet outside. By the way, the third week back at college is going well, by the way. Social mixing of households is no longer allowed inside private homes in Northern Ireland, although there are some exceptions. Up to 6 people from 2 households can meet in private gardens and other places, both inside and outside. Up to 15 can gather with social distancing, but venues such as pubs must carry out risk assessments. Exceptions to social distancing rules in England include a household or support bubble laws in 6, education and training, workplaces, jury duty or other legal commitments, children's playgroups and youth clubs, group exercise classes, support groups, such as for addiction or abuse, weddings and civil partnerships of up to 15 people attending groups of 6 or less, and funerals of up to 30 can go ahead. People can go to pubs, restaurants, shops, places of worship, protests, groups of 6 or less. Groups must stay separate and not mingle. Organised team sport and exercise COVID secure guidelines followed are exempt. Organised team sport with more than 6 people is not allowed. Break up the group size on £600 face events. More than 6 people attending households coming up in England. Ceremonies should be short as possible. Between late March. Businesses are legally required to take customers' contact details so they can be traced. There's an outbreak, they can be fined up to £10,000. Do not do this. Take reservations more than 6, or do not enforce social distancing. Staff in hospitality venues must now wear masks, as must customers who are not seated at their table to eat or drink. The penalty for not wearing one or breaking Rule 6 has now doubled to £200 for first offence. London, Gateshead, Newcastle, North Tyneside, South Tyneside, Northumberland, Sunderland are now banned from mixing in pubs or restaurants with anyone from outside their own household. In Wales, pubs, bars and restaurants stop serving at 10 p.m. and customers will have to be off the premises by 20 minutes past 10 p.m. Supermarkets and off-licences are not allowed to sell alcohol after that time. In Northern Ireland, pubs have to stop serving at 10:30 and must shut their doors by 11 p.m. 10:30 p.m. But pubs that only serve drinks can now reopen, joining pubs that can also serve food. Social distancing across the UK is officially 2 metres, but in England people can be 1 metre plus if they, for instance, wear a face covering or don't sit face to face. Pubs, restaurants, cafes can take individual groups closer than 2 metres if they take certain steps to keep customers safe. UK pubs publish guidance and contact details only need to be taken from one person in the group. Details must be kept for 21 days. Customers only need to give their name and phone number. Anyway, paper, online or during phone booking. Self-isolate in some circumstances, take extra care of social distancing. Ordering food on apps, staff should wash their hands before handling plates and cutlery. Music should be kept at a low volume to avoid people needing sound, increasing the risk of transmission. Pub goes to book. In advance, live gigs will be allowed to be outside when possible and controlled access to toilets. Okay. What's England on Monday, including the possibility of closing pubs and restaurants. Bans in Scotland from Friday, including limiting pub opening hours and sale of alcohol indoors. All pubs and restaurants are to be closed under new measures. Pubs and restaurants will be parts of Scotland with alcohol indoors. which will be in force from 6 p.m. on Friday until the 25th of October. All pubs, restaurants will have to close at 8 p.m. on Friday. Licensed premises will have to close until 25th of October. They can still serve takeaways. Cafes which do not serve alcohol can stay open until 6 p.m. Pubs, bars, restaurants, cafes in the rest of Scotland will not be allowed to serve alcohol indoors. They can only open between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. for food and non-alcoholic drinks. Licensed premises away from the central belt can continue to serve alcohol outdoors until the 10 p.m. curfew, which was introduced last month. Can serve evening meals, restaurants with alcohol. Alcohol can still be served at weddings, funerals. There's a maximum of 20. New rules state that a maximum of 6 people from 2 households can meet together in hospitality venues, either indoors or outdoors. Provide contact details. In case of contact tracers need to reach them, must wear face coverings while moving around and when not eating or drinking. Yeah, it was introduced last week, I believe. That new face covering rule. It's mandatory for staff to wear face coverings and they can only do table service. Snooker and pool halls, indoor bowling alleys, will have to close for 2 weeks from the 10th of October. Contact sports and training meeting will be suspended. Gyms can remain open, so will not be allowed. People are to avoid public transport, such as travelling to school and work, not to travel outside their own health board if they don't need to. Use of face coverings will become mandatory in indoor communal settings such as staff canteens and corridors. Face coverings are already compulsory in shops, buses, trains, trams, planes, taxis. From this weekend onwards, shops are being asked to introduce 2-meter physical distancing rules and introduce some measures which had been taken earlier in the pandemic, such as one-way systems in the supermarkets. No longer restrictions on how far you can travel in Scotland. People have been asked not to visit parts of Central Belt by the tighter restrictions. Also advises against non-essential foreign travel. Been banned from visiting other households indoors since the 25th of September. Exceptions for those in households, couples who don't live together. Work Mondays 12 are exempt from the limit. 12 and 17 are allowed to meet outside the coach up to 6. Police have powers to break up groups from 6. Over the summer, it's been possible for 8 people from 3 different households to meet indoors. The limit was reduced to a maximum of 6 from the 14th of September. Rule of 6 still applies outdoors, including in private gardens and in hospitality venues. People. Pubs, restaurants will be able parts of Scotland, and serve alcohol indoors. PM, Friday 25th October. Premises will be required to close indoors and outdoors. Takeaways will be permitted. Cafes which do not have alcohol license will be able to stay open until 6 p.m. Snookers and pool halls. Indoor bowling alleys, casinos, bingos will close for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Indoor group exercise activities will not be allowed. Live events will not be permitted for the next fortnight. Parts of the country, pubs, bars, restaurants, cafes open indoors at 6 p.m. but only to serve food and non-alcoholic drinks. We will be able to serve alcohol in outdoor settings such as beer gardens until 10 p.m. with the current rules are no more than 6 people from 2 households remaining in place. 16 rules continue to apply. Shops across Scotland will be asked to return to 2-meter physical distancing from this weekend and to reintroduce measures such as one-way systems. Friday, this month, close. alcohol license from 6 p.m. So, yeah, this video is getting quite long now, so I have to end it. So, I'll see you in the next one. So, bye.